Well, hello, everyone. I have 4 o'clock on my little phone here, so we'll start our meeting. Welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for today, Wednesday, January the 11th. Happy New Year to everyone. It's hard to believe it's halfway through January already almost. So just a formality, just to let everybody know, we are live streaming. So this meeting will be on YouTube to, check it out later at a later date if you so wish. So I'll call the meeting to order. I do have regrets from our member, Matt Duff. And I'll ask, was there any call for deferral, withdrawal, or matters before the committee?
No, Madam Chairperson, there was not.
Perfect. So I'll ask all members, do you have any declaration of pecuniary interest? No and no. Seeing none. That moves us on to item number 3 in our agenda package. If I could have a mover for our minutes. Mr. Stanners, second by Mr. Cuomo. So I have a recommendation that the minutes of the Township of Mapleton Committee of Adjustment hearing held on November the 9th, 2022 be confirmed as circulated in the agenda package. Were there any errors or omissions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? That motion is carried. Anyone have anything wishing matters arising from the minutes? None. So that leads us into our application that's before us today in our hearing. So I always like to say to please note that each hearing of the Committee of Adjustment is based on all information that is provided to us, the Committee of Adjustment members. And the committee shall make the decision based on 4 tests and no precedent shall be set. So our first hearing today is A 2023-01, first for 2023. The location of the subject property is legally described as Part Lot 10, Concession 13, Peel, PCL 22, and is municipally known as 7399 Wellington Road 10. The purpose and effect of the variance application is to provide relief for the maximum lot coverage for an accessory structure. The applicant is proposing to construct a 106.8 square meter or 1,150 square foot storage building. The property currently contains a 222.9 square meter or 2,400 square foot accessory structure. The proposed structure will exceed the maximum lot coverage for all accessory structures by 46.5 square meter or 500 square feet. The applicant has indicated the proposed building is to store equipment. Other variances may be considered where deemed appropriate. So at this time, I'll call upon our Secretary Treasurer, Mr. Larry Wheeler, for his statement regarding notifications, comments received to date.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Staff can confirm agencies and Mapleton staff were provided with the required notice on December 19th. Postings were completed December 20th. There were no issues expressed by Mapleton staff or agencies. County of Wellington planners Daou and Jadhav comments were received and are included in the agenda package, and the planning report by our own planner Linda Redmond has been received and is included in the agenda package. There were no ratepayer comments received.
Thank you. So that leads us into 5.14 and comments from our township planner, Linda Redmond. If you could share your comments, please.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Essentially, this parcel is 3.5 acres. It's zoned to agriculture. It falls under the reduced lot ag criteria. So it's permitted a combined floor area of 2,900 square feet for all accessory structures. So as you can see, they have an existing accessory structure on the property now that did go through for variance back in 2018. Because at that time, all that was permitted for accessory structures was 1,900 square feet, I believe it was. But since that time, the zoning bylaw has been amended and now we've upped the allowable size of accessory structures on these types of parcels. So there was a bit of leeway room in there to build about 500 square feet. And then the applicant has indicated they want to build double that. So they're building a second building now that will exceed what they're allowed, which is 2,900 square feet. They're requesting all combined floor area of 3,550 square feet. So they're over what they're allowed by 650 square feet. We have no concerns with the size that they're at, the increase in size that they're asking for. We would just note that as the committee is well aware that these buildings are to be used for personal use only, not for commercial purposes or any habitable space like residential habitable space, but they can be used for personal accessory storage.
Thank you. So at this time, I'd ask the applicant, Paul Goodyear, to introduce himself. If he wishes to come to the mic, you just press the little red button. You can introduce yourself and share with us any information you believe we would like to hear.
Hi, I'm Paul. I don't know what you need to know. If you got questions, I'd gladly answer them.
We will get to that then. We'll just go from there. And I don't see anyone else attending that would like to speak. So that'll just put us right into our committee member questions. And I'll start to my far left. Member Sheik, if you have any questions to the planner or to the applicant.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, the planner has already addressed the two questions that I had, which is great. One technicality with the notice, and I don't think it's a big deal, but it's actually, I don't think it's formerly Peel. I think it's formerly Marlborough, but I could be wrong on that.
Perfect. Thank you, Member Sheik. And move over to my right. Member Kiomo, any questions or concerns?
Yeah, maybe I can address it to Mr. Goodyear. I'm just wondering that the drawing that you sent us of what the building will look like doesn't indicate whether there's any sort of a mezzanine or anything like that that might, because if there's a mezzanine, that makes the actual square footage bigger. So can you give us any idea about sort of the design of the building?
There won't be a mezzanine.
Okay.
It's just gonna be
Okay. I think that's the only question I have.
Great. Thank you, Member Kiomo. Member Stanners, do you have any questions or concerns?
Thank you, Chair. A little thing to the owner. I like his a comment on his application about preventing stuff from deteriorating and walking away. It's anything is good to have under a roof. A thing that I noticed, and maybe for the planner, in the notice, it said 500 square feet and the recommendation is 650. I just don't know whether this is the right way to, like, should that recommendation been sent out as 650 square feet? Like a neighbor gets this notice or sees it posted on the wall or on the post at the end of his driveway, but 500 square feet, oh, that's nothing. But then would 650 feet be enough to tip somebody off that, hey, there's a big addition going on? I just didn't know whether it's right that we make a recommendation that's bigger than the square footage of what was on the application. And another thing I have is this drawing. I really have some issues with it. I see like there's 20 feet of roof, some heights and all that given. There is a certain height that we're allowed to build to, is that I think 15 feet to the center of the roof line. And I just, doing little calculations, and because there's a note on somewhere on there that you want an 810 pitch on the roof and that to maintain that, and it shows two different roof pitches. And when we look at front view and rear view, they can't have two different pitches to them. Like one of these drawings is reversed, right? I just wanted clarification, not that it come back to the building department and back to us another time that, hey, this building's higher, and then it would have to go through this whole process again. Thank you.
Sure, Mr. Goodyear, if you would like to.
The shop on the property is the pitch of the roof is the same as what I'm proposing in that. But the barn or the storage shed has a lean-to the one side. That's why you see that in the reverse program in the drawing. Do you understand?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Speak up. Yeah, I just noticed whenever you see it reversed, Oli, you got a short roof looking at the left and the short roof looking at the left from the back, right? One of these drawings just isn't quite right, but it's not really our problem to determine you shape your roof. More is just the height there itself, that there's somewhere in this recommendation today or whatever will be approved that there is a certain height given, and the planner will know that all off by heart, I'm sure. Just that we don't have to go through this whole process again. I'm just trying to make it one step that it's done, right? Yeah. Thank you.
So perhaps we can ask our planner, Linda Redmond, to comment on your observation about the notice.
So I believe when I prepared the notice, that was the size. And then when the application came in, it was changed. So that's the difference. Having said that, you're correct that the notice is indicating 500 and we're now asking for a different amount. And it's up to the committee's discretion whether they feel that the notice reflects the intent accurately. My opinion is it's fine. It's only 150 square feet bigger than what was asked. If it was a significant size, I would say we'd have to recirculate the notice. But it's small enough that I think the intent is that they're going a bit beyond what's allowed under the current zoning provisions, and they're still only going a bit, like it's not that much of a difference. And I think we're good to not have to recirculate. I think if somebody had a concern with the size of it, whether it's 500 more or 650 more, we'd hear from them. Like, you know what I mean? If it was 500, we'd hear from them, and they're not here. I don't think 650 is that much of a shift from it. But having said that, it's your decision on whether you feel you want to recirculate the application if you think it's different.
Member Standers?
Okay, thank you. I kind of had the same feeling. I just didn't want it that somebody else comes down the road afterwards and says to us, hey, why did you just allow more, right? And, like when I first heard the extra 150 square feet, I didn't know whether it was just a porch on the side or whatever that was added on. I really don't consider it a major change, right? The extra 150 square feet, right? And of course, I don't want to have to bring this application back here again because of the 150 square feet. And I do agree with planner's comment that if somebody didn't complain at 500, they most likely wouldn't have anything to say at 650 square feet. So I don't really consider it a problem. The only thing I want to make sure is that the building height is set, done with, that you can get a shovel in the ground. Thank you.
Okay, my questions when I was reviewing over this, I guess I just want a clarification. When I looked at the aerial map, there seems to be other stuff back there. So what is it that you're storing in your, like the storage? What is it? I guess what's the purpose of it? What are you using it for?
It'll be for trailers and farm equipment, like lawnmowers and stuff like that. My kids have a bunch of stuff that I, don't want laying out the front. So I want to put it inside.
Okay, so it's definitely, you are not running a business out of this.
No.
It's not. Okay,
No, I gave up on the business a long time ago.
okay, okay. Members, does anybody else have any question? Member Sheik, if you have another question.
So you mentioned a lean-to. Is that lean-to included in the footage, square footage of the variance? It is, and so it's a three-sided lean-to. Okay, okay, it's included. Okay, I just want to confirm that.
Does any of the other members have any other questions that came up? Well, then I do have a motion that's here, a recommendation for us to consider. That the minor variance applied for in application A 2023-01, located at part lot 10, concession 3, perhaps Peel, perhaps Marlborough. I think it's Marlborough too. Yeah. PCL 22 and municipally known as 7399 Wellington Road 10 to provide the following relief as proposed. So the maximum floor area as the requested of 329.7 square meters or 3,550 square feet, which is a difference of 650 square feet or 60.32 meters. So any questions about this resolution? Yes, member Stanners.
Just one question I had is about the height of this building. To our planner, what is the number? Oh, we always go center a roof line, eh?
Through you, Chair, the maximum allowable height for this property would be 22 feet, which is measured to the center line. So they're showing 20 feet to the peak, so they're fine.
Thank
That's
you.
great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? All those against? This motion is granted. So please note that the members of the committee were of the opinion that the variance is minor in nature. The variance requested is desirable for the appropriate development or use of the lands, building, or structure. The variance maintains the general intent and purpose of the official plan. The variance maintains the general purpose and intent of the zoning bylaw, and that is the 4 tests that have been met. So just for you to know, there is an appeal portion. So your appeal date will be January the 31st. So after that, you should be in contact with the township again. So thank you very much for showing up and answering all our questions that we had. Thank you. So we have a circulation of an attendance sheet. And then this minor variance A 2023-01 is now concluded. And if we look further in our general business, upcoming hearing dates will be February the 15th, which is the 3rd Tuesday. And then in March, it will be March the 22nd, which actually is the 4th Tuesday. It is a change to the normal schedule. Although I believe our term, this is our last meeting of Committee of Adjustment. Appointments, I believe, will be made at next council meeting. So we may or may not see each other, I guess, as Committee of Adjustment members. I've enjoyed working with everyone.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Great. I don't know if anyone else had any other comments or anything before. We're good. That's signing of it. So I call this meeting adjourned and it is 4:20. Thank you very much.